On today's Saturday news, Ricky Starks is expected to go to WWE.
We've got another European WWE Premium Live event.
LA Knight is sticking with WWE for the foreseeable, yeah.
And Bobby Lashley prefers Vince McMahon to Triple H. Are you ready for the news time? As my dog knocks my laptop flying. I'm just going to keep going, you know. It's wrestling news. Let's go. Gareth's up first. Recover from that, Gareth.
Compose myself. Great. Well, this is what you came for. This Saturday chaos. Here we are, baby. And speaking of chaos, we got contracts and people jumping all over the place. Chaos, because I'm going to try and talk about Ricky Starks, Phil, because I'm a professional. So, in the latest Observer, they were talking about, like, just a few things, really, because that's what the Observer does. And within this Observer, it's so good. Ricky Stark's status within AEW was discussed by big old Dave, and if you kind of looked into it, it says that he's not obviously been used by AEW recently for a while now, anyway. And he said within this that within wrestling, it's expected he will go to WWE when his deal is up. He hasn't signed a new deal, and he turned down an angle for Big Bill to turn on him, where he'd be a babyface. Now he's not being used anymore. So that's stating the obvious. We have not seen him for a while. I believe his last appearance in AEW was, I think it was on a Collision back in March, and I think it was the one where he was in a tag match against Top Flight. So yeah, it's been a weird one. He's been linked with WWE for a while, for a long old while. Obviously, there's those connections there with Cody because they're good friends in real life. So a lot of people going, oh, and that doesn't always mean that's going to happen, but it is just one of those things that people do.
Cargill as well is a good friend of his.
Yeah, you just go, they're friends. They're going to want to work together. Makes sense. Why not? A few people were saying maybe he was injured, but then Stark himself went, nope, not injured, just here. And it all looks like all signs are pointing to him popping up in WWE at some point. Makes sense, really, for he's the kind of guy that you could see in WWE. He just has that character, or the charisma, all that stuff, and it's just not quite worked out in AEW. It's a shame because he's had his moments. He's had a few promising moments where you go, oh, here we go, this is the start of the Ricky Starks rise to the top of the card, and then it just never really clicks. So yeah, at this moment in time, it is looking like that's where we're going, and it's exciting. I always like this stuff when it starts moving towards a new visual, a wrestler, a new company.
Yeah, absolutely. We did an interview with Ricky Starks a while back, which I will link to in the top corner, whichever one it goes into. And even then, he was talking about frustrations within AEW of not being used, saying that he wasn't injured. He's ready to go, but they're just not getting any of the creative. He was talking about being he was thrown together into the tag team with the Big Bill stuff, but then they just kind of went out and they made the most of it, and they did really well with it, I think. And it's his run in AEW has just kind of been, oh, let's go with it, what's happening? Oh, let's go with it, what's happening? Really stop-start and kind of a little bit all over the place. So I can see why you would be frustrated with that as a system and want to sort of try and spread your wings elsewhere where you might be used a little bit more. But I think Ricky Starks has a hell of a lot of upside. He definitely has the charisma to pull it off. And I'm really into the idea of him in WWE. Whether he drops by NXT for a bit before being called up, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, fully on board with the jump to WWE. It's always good fun when these things happen.
I could see him as being one of Cody's new backup friends at some point on the main roster. He's always got friends, so I think that'd be cool. That'd be a cool way of introducing him. Also, just a quick note, I don't think it's been fully confirmed at this moment in time when his deal is going to expire with AEW, so that's just something to keep an eye on as well, so we don't know when that could happen. But yep, looks like he could be heading to WWE.
Watch this space. But speaking of WWE, they've been doing a bunch of big ass shows over in Europe recently with the premium live events kind of going on tour. And a couple of days ago, Cody Rhodes was speaking on the Gabby AF podcast, and he was talking about they did a live event in Italy and talking about how incredible the crowd was there. He basically said, you think Scotland and France was great, well, Italy was insane, and that he kind of wishes they would get a premium live event in Italy so everyone can see what that crowd is like. Well, it seems like his wish might be coming true because PW Nexus on Twitter have revealed that WWE are planning a live premium live event in Italy in 2025. Now, where it's going to be or when it's going to be, no idea, other than 2025 and Italy. So we'll have to wait and see which sort of city they pick and which arena they pick. I've no idea about arenas in Italy. Let us know in the comments if you do. But it looks like this kind of premium live event thing on tour is definitely here to stay, and I'm kind of all for it. These ones have been really good fun. Like the Scottish crowd, the French crowd, the Puerto Rican crowd for Backlash last year as well, have all been absolutely brilliant. And I think sort of moving them around and sort of taking them on tour a little bit kind of then makes the premium live events in America more special as well, because they kind of get less of them. So you're going to end up getting hotter crowds there because you're not feeding them as much sort of content all the time. And it's a win-win all around for me.
Yeah, it makes sense. And Clash at the Coliseum is right there.
Apparently it's already been taken. Apparently there's a NASCAR thing that's called Clash at the Coliseum. So
that's a shame. That's a shame. Should have known that before I said it.
Should have researched.
Just don't go to Italy now. Yep. Just tear up the whole thing. Yep, cancel the whole thing. This is great. I mean, I'd be very interested in going to Italy to watch one of these pay-per-views, PLEs as well, because I love Italy. I love Italy.
Fire.
Wow. You went there. That's okay. I don't need those memories, Phil. Why would you do that? Why would you just drop that into my brain right now?
Name the show in the comments below.
Yeah, there we go. Let's just make some ridiculous meatball jokes. Outstanding. So drop that in. I'm going to move on. I don't want to think about meatballs any longer. So what I do want to think about is LA Knight. Yeah. Because he's on a roll right now. He's living his best life. He's obviously just won the US title. Like, he's finally got his hands on some gold. And he's also seemingly just got a big old deal behind the scenes as well, because he has been one of the most popular stars in WWE over the last couple of years. Worked his ass off, and he's done really well for himself. And now that's been reflected in the compensation that he's getting, which is very good. So this is all according to a new report from Fightful. And they said that it's looking like he's going to be with WWE now for, well, a significant time, and he's had a large money increase. So they've restructured and extended his existing WWE contract that he already had. So they've just given him more money and just lengthened out the contract, because that's what you want to do. We top babyface stars. You want to give him the money, keep him happy, and just get him to keep doing the stuff, and he will definitely do that. And it's there's also a few more details on this. It says that the original deal was set to expire in early 2025. So that's a good thing, because a lot of WWE contracts recently have been running right down to the wire, and then people have either gone or they've just signed a contract very late. So this is a bit of a change. Obviously, I think it's with these real top tier. Not saying that a lot of the people that have been mentioned other like elsewhere aren't as good or anything like that, but like when real top tier stars, it seems that they're trying to get the deals done as soon as possible. Like, nope, don't want to risk that. And they've apparently been negotiating as far back as the fall of 2023. So that's quite interesting. Yeah, so they've had a bit of a back and forth over that, but the deal is now reportedly signed, and LA Knight is sticking with WWE. Yeah.
Yep, love this. They kind of, it took them a while to properly pull the trigger on him when he sort of started getting hot. And like sort of like them sort of being missing from WrestleMania and things was like an odd move, and he's kind of like, it felt like he was going, and then like maybe not now. But now it seems like they've definitely pulled the trigger on him, obviously with this US title run and being the guy to beat Logan Paul. And yeah, I mean, there's a whole heap of upside with LA Knight, isn't there? He's super entertaining on TV. He's getting super over on the live shows. And yeah, he's just good fun. So I'm all for them locking him down to a bit of a longer deal and getting that guy paid. Because yeah, why not? It's a business at the end of the day. You gotta get your money. So yeah, good stuff. But moving over, finally, Bobby Lashley. Speaking of people shifting between different places, fully expected to be leaving WWE soon. He was speaking to the Laboratory podcast sort of about his situation in WWE. And he kind of went into some detail on sort of the difference in his relationship between Vince McMahon and Triple H, because obviously Vince McMahon used to be running the show, then all of the allegations and lawsuits happened, and now Triple H is running the show. So he doesn't actually speak on the actual allegations or anything like that to do with Vince McMahon. It's just about his like working relationship with him. And he says this, I'm just going to do the whole quote. Well, he starts it off by sort of joking, by saying, if I say the wrong thing now, and having a bit of a laugh about it. because of the allegations, obviously. But he says, I had a connection with Vince. Vince understood me. Vince was big on the show. He looked at people that were stars. He saw that in me. There were a lot of little nuggets that Vince would give me throughout my career and tell me different things. Vince looked at me like, I can tell Bobby works his ass off. I can send him anywhere around the country and represent the brand. He looked at me like a star. I like Vince. I haven't really had too much of a connection with Hunter. Hunter has his guys. I've tried to, but we haven't really worked enough together to get to know each other. So yeah, just kind of laying out the differences between his relationship with Vince McMahon and his relationship with Triple H. And it just seems maybe Bobby Lashley Triple H isn't high up on him, and he wasn't like one of his priorities, I guess, in this sort of new era. You could kind of tell that through the presentation on TV. They kind of fell back on sort of a bit like the Hurt Business, but not really with him and the Street Profits, and they never really gave him too much TV time to sort of actually get this new group over or anything like that. It was a little bit strange. Then he got injured at the Backlash pay-per-view, which obviously took him off TV for a while. But yeah, just the sort of differences in the sort of Triple H's view of Bobby Lashley and Vince McMahon's.
Yeah, and like you said there, it was relatively clear over the last year or so. Just every time he was on TV, he was very popular. The people love Bobby Lashley. They just do. I think they tried to turn them heel at one point, him and the Street Profits, and they're like, nope, we like these people. They're
we
great.
Don't want that.
Yeah, that's but they listened, which is good. It's a new regime, new world. But yeah, that regime seemingly just doesn't have a place in it right now for Bobby Lashley, and that's, I don't know, I don't think it's really going to massively affect him going forward, because he's a guy that can fit into a lot of different places. He could get back into the cage and start kicking ass for real, or he could go to an AEW, he could go to an Impact. There's so many places that he could end up, because he's a guy that can offer a lot to a lot of different areas of the sports and sports entertainment sphere.
Definitely take him.
Yeah, Japan. There you go. Exactly. So he's yeah. I'm not worried at all for him, but I don't know. It's always just somewhat interesting, just hearing how different people kind of reacted, because I think the overall feeling in this current era right now is that Triple H has changed everything. It's all for the best, and everyone loves it. It's changed everyone's lives in WWE are better. For a lot of the cases, that is true, but then for the odd one or two, it's a bit kind of liked it the way things were, which is quite strange. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, because of the obvious things that we've spoken about, but it's an interesting one. So there'll probably be more of this kind of stuff you'd expect, because the more you put a microphone in front of the people who are leaving WWE right now, the more they're going to be quite honest and go, actually, and that's what's going to happen, and we'll be here to cover it and talk about it.
We will indeed. When the guy at the top isn't a huge fan of you, I guess, then you're kind of screwed. You've got to have a fan of the boss, or the boss isn't going to put you on TV. It's an odd one though, because you just assume Bobby Lashley Triple H would be a Bobby Lashley guy, just because Triple H is a body guy. Triple H, historically, he likes muscles. I don't know if you know this about him. Bobby Lashley has some big old muscles.
There's only so many spaces, I guess. Look at that roster right now, in terms of even from the mid card up, it is stacked. Absolutely stacked. So it's what do? You can't really job Bobby Lashley, can you? It's a tough position. So maybe he should just go off and just dominate the rest of the fighting world for a little bit. Why not?
Absolutely. But let us know down in the comments what you want to see Bobby Lashley end up doing next. And what else? You can click the video. That's what you do in the middle of the screen to continue on your YouTube journey, and follow us over on Twitter. You can follow me at PhilMyChambers, and you can follow Gareth
at GMorgan04.
And have yourselves a bloody good day.
Don't knock your laptop over.
I'll try not to. Where's my dog?
Yeah, try not.
He's gone.
Where's my dog?